fellow Tarnist. Today we're going to talk about a new topic. One intrinsically linked to the last video. We're going to discuss what the Elden Ring actually is. Now, the Elden Ring isn't one particular thing. It is actually many things, and it represents many things. And it has various forms and influences, but intrinsically, the Elden Ring's first form is actually the Elden Beast, which is its first form. This is the Elden Ring's first form when it was sent to the lands between to establish all life by the greater will. Now, we can see this from the Elden Stars, and what it tells us. It says that long ago the Greater Will sent a golden star bearing a beast in the lands between, which would become the Elden Ring. But what does the Elden Ring actually do, and what is it? Well, it is actually not directly stated what the Elden Ring does or what it is, but we know a couple of things from item descriptions and character dialogue that was removed from the game and promotional material. From Godfrey, we know, and this is cut dialogue from the game, we know that the Elden Ring is the Lord of the Stars above, and it is the arbiter of life. An arbiter means a defense attorney, basically, and also the Lords of the Stars above. I'll get to that later. But in the promotional materials, we hear that the Elden Ring commands the very stars above. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, this means a couple of things. The first thing we know about stars is that they're intrinsically linked to fate. We actually get this hint from the Amber Starlight chart, which says it's the star. If the stars command our fates, then amber-hued stars must command the fates of the gods. As we can see from this, the stars command fate, and it's the rest of it is irrelevant. The stars command fate. So, here's what the Elden Ring actually is. The Elden Ring was sent by the Greater Will and is a set program-like thing. It has rules written in it. For example, death, life, and so on and so forth. For example, when destined death was removed from the Elden Ring, death was actually removed from the entire world. Nothing could truly die after destined death was removed. For example, if you were to remove the rune of rebirth from the Elden Ring, no more rebirth could happen, because the Elden Ring controls fate and the various aspects of fate, as we learn from the Amber Starlight Shard. As you can see, the stars command our fates. And how does the Elden Ring do this? Well, from the promotional material and the cut content from Godfrey, we actually learn the Elden Ring commands the very stars above. You can control the stars, and after controlling the stars, using the Elden Ring, you can actually control fate itself. Also, the Elden Ring is intrinsically linked to the Erd Tree, and the Erd Tree facilitates what the Elden Ring does. It brings life into the world. It brings light into the world. And it basically helps to embody what the Elden Ring is representing. For example, when the Golden Order was established, the original Crucible that was also linked to the Elden Ring, which was red after the Golden Order imprinted their rune into the Elden Ring, the Erd Tree turned to gold and the Crucible lost its red color, and the Erd Tree, as we know it in game today, was established. And also, after we use Mending Runes, the entire fate of the Lands Between changes. For example, if we use the Dung Eater's rune, the Dung Eater's rune actually changes the fate of the Lands Between. Everyone will be born cursed, meaning if you use the Elden Ring and you use a Mending Rune that represents anything, it will change the fate of everyone in the world, because the Greater Will is that powerful. It's actually the most powerful outer god that we see in game, because no other outer god actually shows this kind of power. Now, the Elden Ring and the Greater Will are also linked together. That's why I'm mentioning the Greater Will here. And everything in the Elden Ring, if it's messed with, it can have dire consequences. For example, death was removed, and now improper death can happen, and that is actually the fault of the Golden Order. So, to make things short, the Elden Ring is a set of runes that have instructions and commands that govern the very fate of the stars and life. If these runes are changed, removed, or messed with in any manner, it can have dire consequences for everyone involved or everyone alive in the Lands Between, such as destined death. The Elden Ring has tremendous power, and brandishing it makes you lord of the entire world. Well,